Hello Circleville, Kit Cummings here on this beautiful day in Atlanta, Georgia. Probably a little bit warmer than it is up there. I'm just checking in with you as I want to do weekly, especially with the staff, officers, superintendent, deputies, counselors, teachers, and all those that are in charge of the youth there that are trying to get interrupted and redirected. This is the first week of their Power of Peace project, 40 Days to Freedom. We were very encouraged that 100% of the young men that were chosen voluntarily chose to take part in this project over the next 6 weeks, and 100% of them, after given the opportunity to volunteer, signed a peace pledge, and they committed to 7 steps for 40 days. The steps that they're going to be working so hard to live by, which is not easy for anybody, but especially the young men that live in that environment. I know it's very intense. I know that they have different groups, gangs, depending on where they're from. I know there's a lot of violence, and I know that it's a very troubled, intense, conflict-ridden, tension-high environment. I know that it's got to be very tough to work there. And as I said last week to the facilitators, I know you're just good people trying to get home to your families, and the Power of Peace Project is there to try to create an environment where there's less conflict, less violence, less danger, and more peace. Where peace is on the rise and conflict is going down, there's more programming, there's more education, there's more treatment, there's more freedom and movement. And I know that you do what you do because you want to help these kids to change. We don't want them to go on into the system and to grow up behind the razor wire. We also want to provide a better quality of life for those of you who have chosen to be there and dedicate your lives to helping these kids. This week they're going to try to seek first to understand their opponents. And when they get together on Friday in their small groups, they're going to be talking about breaking unhealthy habits and learning to first understand instead of seeking to be understood. And instead of doing all the talking, to learn to listen, to ask questions. They have been grouped up in different groups according to people that aren't like them or don't necessarily hang with them or come from the same places. The idea is to walk together for 40 days and to learn that there's a lot more that we have in common than what separates us. That's a valuable lesson for anybody to learn, but especially a 17-year-old mind, maybe who has never seen that. I hope you guys can hear me. The wind's blowing pretty hard. These videos I'm going to send you weekly are going to be kind of bootleg. They're not professional quality, but I just want to communicate directly with Circleville Juvenile Correctional Facility. I'll be coming back at the end of the 40 days, but every week there's going to be a different principle. Seek first to understand. Find common ground with my adversary. Walk a mile in another man's shoes. Actively listen. Deliberately communicate. When wrong, promptly admit it and make amends. And treat all people with the respect you wish to be treated with. And so these are monumental, fundamental principles that work wherever they're practiced. Now they're also going to be watching a DVD every week, and they're going to be planting the seeds for phase 2, which is going to have to do with being a peacemaker, learning to treat people with respect, even your enemies, learning to respond instead of react when you're provoked and not to retaliate in kind, learn to de-escalate a situation. When you're cursed, don't automatically curse back. Use deliberate language. Do not lie, cheat, or steal. So this is a character, how to find inner peace so that you can have peace in your relationships. I want to continue to remind you that what's in it for you as a staff and facilitators is a better quality of life where you have to go and to work every day. And if we can have inmate on inmate assaults drop, if we can have assaults on officers drop, if we can have less altercations and less DRs or tickets being written up, if we have better behavior, then that's a win for everybody. And it also provides an environment where your GED programs or your anger management, substance abuse, sexual misconduct, the things that these young men need treatment for will be available, because where there's violence and conflict goes up, those things are either taken away or inmates don't feel comfortable or safe getting into those programs. This is going to be good for the teachers. These young men will be better students. And prayerfully, they'll practice on the inside what they hope when they get out, because we know a lot of these young men are getting out, and then you're going to see them again or maybe some of them will get it during this project. You're going to see the wristbands, which symbolize them over the next 40 days. When you see that black wristband, I want to ask you to look for positive behavior, and these young men need 10 encouragements for every correction. 10-to-1 ratio, and I know that's hard. That's hard as a parent to remember that with kids, because we're so quick to correct and to discipline. They need a lot of encouragement. Most of them have never gotten it. At the end, they're going to be rewarded if they do a good job, or at least make an honest effort, with a certificate, which means a lot to these young men. They can take them before judges, into interviews, to their families, before, probation officers or parole boards, and show them the work they've done. So, in recap, we can't do this without you. This program will do great if we have staff buy-in, and if you guys will believe that it's possible for these young people. So suspend your disbelief, set aside preconceived notions, and just believe in miracles over the next 40 days, and look for good things in these young men to be encouraged by, and then give them an attaboy when you see it. When you see a kid back down from a fight, encourage him, celebrate that. When you see a kid try not to fight and then he gets into a fight anyway, encourage him for trying. And I pray that over the next 6 weeks that we see dramatic results, because if we can see that, some improvement in phase 1, then we'll have phase 2, and then phase 3, and we can get every one of the boys in that 120 inmate camp to be wearing the wristbands, wearing the t-shirts, becoming peacemakers, and you guys can do something historic that I can go and spread to prisons all over the country. This is our first stab at a juvenile correctional facility. This is a pilot program. We're learning by what you guys are doing. I'm not claiming to know what I'm doing in a youth facility. I know it works in adult facilities. So please hang in there. I congratulate your effort. We need you. I hope you can hear this. Appreciate y'all. We're going to see you soon. Talk to you next week. Peace. Be the change you wish to see in the world. Peace out. This is beautiful Atlanta, GA. Coming back to cold Ohio. Peace.